Nicole Rafiee quickly uploaded and then deleted her most recent episode of Talk Nasty to Me, and I think it's fair to speculate it was due to her audience pushback over her coverage of H3, whom she used in the thumbnail and referenced in the title. Given how she responded to criticism in her comment section and the Instagram post stating she would be re-uploading the episode to her Patreon, I think it's fair to assume she didn't delete the video because she was suddenly enlightened, but rather because of the pushback. At this point, having a misinformed opinion on H3 is a sign for me to unsubscribe. Their conversation hit all of the main pillars of a H3 hate video. There's regurgitation of enemy talking points, which only serve to highlight their own ignorance, and no acknowledgement of Ethan's responses.
Okay, so like there's this one...
He's losing his mind again.
Well, yes, but there's this one YouTuber named Idubbbz who does this stuff like called Content Cop, and he'll do it on different people. I only knew him to do it against like Tana, but I just like was never an Idubbbz watcher. But he made a video in Hassan's house, like the intro.
He broke into Hassan's house?
He's friends with Hassan, and he had Frogan in it, and Denims, who I did the cooking challenge with in Craze for Palestine, and they were like in Hassan's office, and they had this like whole little intro where they're like mocking Ethan, and they're like, "Wake up, Ethan, wake up," and like dancing, mocking him, whatever. And it's this whole video where this guy is basically breaking down like the awful things that Ethan has done over recently, and how he has been like not well, because Ethan Klein and him have been friends.
Okay.
But ever since his like weird dilemma of like saying weird things and defending like Israeli propaganda, and also like going against Hassan and like claiming, and like Frogan and all these other people, and claiming that they did horrible things that they did not do. Like for example, like at VidCon they had this thing called they did like, for example, who can say Habibi, like who gets the Habibi pass. Ethan Klein spun it and took it as Arab good, Israeli bad. That is what the tier list is. And he got all those people banned on Twitch. Like, anyway, that's just like one small piece of the coin. I recommend giving it a watch. But the entire video is like very well done, and he even talks at the end, like he makes every person that Ethan Klein has like come out against, he like they all give a compliment to Ethan and like say one nice thing. I don't know, it's so weird. Like, it's been so long now since I've watched H3, and I was such a big fan because it was something that like filled up my time.
We have performative sympathy about Ethan's mental health, while also contributing to the dogpiling.
It's so sad to watch someone so clearly like not be well. Like it feels like
Ethan,
he's and like watching someone, I hate using this term, but like crash out in real time, like not do well. And so it was just very interesting. I was freaking out on air because I guess the video came out while he was live.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I can't believe this is real. Is this like, I feel like I'm dreaming. Like, is this real? Like, this can't." And
that
he's
was
like
your consciousness talking to you.
He's like freaking out in real time while watching this. It's kind of crazy to like watch, and it's kind of sad also to be watching.
And then out-of-pocket speculation around the crew's happiness.
I don't know, my personal take on the situation is like, especially with the crew, like they're put in an awful shitty situation of being, I think basically like I think a lot of people at the end of the day forget that employees, and this isn't based off of like, I've not had a conversation with any of the crew about this. Like, this is literally my own 2 cents into this. This is not anyone else's words, but like, when you work for a boss and you work for a company, I think people are underestimating that, like, and thinking that you make just as much as your boss is making. Like, just because you are on the H3 channel and on the H3 show, that you must be making as much as your boss, who is a millionaire. That's not the case as far as I'm concerned. That's not the case. And like working as like a producer or an editor or whatever you are on the show, you're not making as much money as that person. We don't know the person's financial things because a bunch of people are like, why can't you just leave? We don't know how many people, I mean, there are people who have already left the show, but like, we don't know the situation in which those people are staying at their jobs, or if they're trying to leave their jobs, they probably can't openly talk about that. Obviously, if they're actively trying and seeking for a new job, like, it's difficult.
H3 holds a special place in my heart. I've tuned into every episode over the past 5 years, which is why it's been difficult to watch this ongoing, almost 2-year-long hate campaign against Ethan and Hila Klein. It all started for no justifiable reason. They have openly criticized the Israeli government and its unjustifiable violence. Years before the online left decided to co-opt the pro-Palestinian movement and crown Hassan at the head of it. What ignited the hate campaign, led by Hassan and company, was that the Kleins expressed shock that some far-left figures were defending Hamas and other terrorist groups, while not considering the safety of Israeli civilians. Anytime Ethan would highlight a flaw in Hassan's logic or worldview, I would think, okay, now this will be the time when someone with a larger platform will speak up. But as time went on, more and more people and content creators participated in this misinformation campaign, genuinely believing that Ethan and Hila are pro-genocide or anti-Palestinian. It stung when I saw content creators I like stay silent on the situation or make sly comments based on misinformation. The campaign became so widespread I ignored those feelings. I understood that not everybody could keep up with the podcast the same way I did. Nothing. Only former enemies of the show have shown up in defense, but silence from those who flaunt their progressive views to their audience. It took the escalation of CPS being called before a larger creator said anything, and even then, Philly D's coverage was only a snapshot. And now, since then, all we've gotten is a neutered content cop brought to you by the Brotherhood of Evil and a bitch-made reaction from Idubbbz that he also deleted. Ethan has now shared a video threat made by Bad Empanada and revealed that he received 2 human skulls in the mail. Maybe this will push somebody from the progressive left to finally speak up. It's easy to dunk on the manosphere and other right-leaning content because you're catering to an audience that is already primed to agree with you. But when it's something worth calling out that may garner negative attention, it's easier to stay silent. I hope for a future with more compassion, and that Hassan would listen to the words of Stephen Jenkins and remember, you could cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in,